Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I've gone down to line 3405. It might be 3400, somewhere around 3400, and you'll see here it says tag visible host name. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this line right here. It's # tag visible host name. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it right here, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove everything before the word visible _ host name. Alright, and then I'll do a space afterwards, and I'll say Dan's proxy server. Okay, and what that's going to do is, well, first of all, instead of changing this line, I leave it there commented so that I know, what was there before, so to speak. So I'm adding a line, just visible _ host name, to change the host name of the proxy server to my name. And I'll hit File, Save, and then what's going to happen is, let's see here, I'm going to kill the process by running a sudo pkill space -9 squid space squid, and then I'll start, I got to put the password in again, timed out here. Alright, so that kills the process right there. Kills squid, basically stops the squid server, and then I will start it up again with a sudo space /user folder /sbin directory folder, and then / the squid program server, and I'll hit enter, and then I'll start it up again. And now if we are to get a blocked signal, like when we get a block, like here's a block essentially, so on the blocked page you'll see here it has the name at the bottom. You see Dan's proxy server right there. Okay, I had the sound off, so I have to redo some of this, what I did. I'm going to go up, and basically what I did, this will be good because it'll go quicker. I talked about so far the access list area of the SQUID config file. So we looked here, it says access controls on line 330 or 331, let's say, and this is what you're going to use to set up access lists and control who has access to your to web pages. You filter your access to your web pages on your proxy server. So then I scroll down to line 600, and you can see that around line 600, 601, you start seeing uncommented lines that don't have a # in front of them. So this is an active statement. This is an access list, all, source all. Access list manager, access list localhost, source 127.0.0.1, that's your own local IP address, loopback IP address, that is. This is ACL access list to localhost, that's the name of the access list, destination, your loopback address. See, and it's uncommented. So these things right here we looked at, and then I showed that this is the area where you can have access lists allowing access from your local networks, and you can see some default ones in here. This one was the default. These three lines were the default. A 10 network, a 172.16 network, and a 192.168 networks all are normal private networks. So chances are, if you have a LAN, your computers usually begin with one of these addresses, and this will allow access, let's say, for your private networks. You can see I commented this out, so I commented that out, commented this out, commented this out. Well, I'll leave that one open, and then you can see here I said ACL, and I copied the code, except I put 192.168.1.0/24, and then 192.168.2.0/24. So this would limit access, let's say, to a 192.168.1 or a 192.168.2 network, as opposed to every 192.168 network. It's not a big deal, it's just small stuff. And then ACL safe ports or SSL ports, safe ports. So these are different ports that you could control which ports are going to be used crossing your filter, your proxy. And then we went down here to, let's see here. Okay, I'm going to scroll down here, and you can see here I'm interested in the lines that are uncommented here. These are active configuration lines here in the configuration file. So if we're being denied access, like we were right here, right? Being denied access to yahoo.com, I could change it. I'm going to be looking for these lines here that are uncommented to find out what it is I need to change. So I'm going to scroll down here to, let's see here. You can see here HTTP access allow local host, right? Well, what if I uncomment local net? What if I do that? So I'll just do that. I'll uncomment that, right? So let's say local network, right? These local net was defined in the ACLs we just looked at, the local networks, right? The internal networks that we just talked about. Maybe this will open it up. So I'll hit File, Save, right? And if I hit refresh here, we'll see what happens. But you know, if I make a change to the configuration file, I probably need to kill SQUID and then start it up again, right? And now go Firefox and refresh, and boom, Yahoo's working. Okay, so just that one line of code, uncommenting, allow access to LocalNet, helped change that story, right? The other thing I could do is I'm going to change that back to a £. If you go down 2 lines more, you'll see here it says, and finally deny all other access to this proxy, right? So this is a deny all statement, right? Right here. Okay. But what I could do is I could have changed that deny to allow all, you know, and then and that would change things too. So if I was to change this from deny to allow, then that would work. But this one worked quite nicely. So, and then I could say, I'll copy that and I'll say, just in case, paste it here and say, what about allow all, right? Comment it out. And what I can also do is I can put a comment at the end here and say Dan's work. So I put a little comment after the comment here so that I know what I'm adding, lines that I'm adding. So if I wanted to really quickly now, I could switch that by removing that and then comment this one out, and then I'd have an allow all. But this local net seems to be working pretty good, so I'll stick with that. File, save.